everybody, welcome. My name is Mia and I'm a teaching artist with Theater Horizon, and I'm so excited because today I'm bringing you a video on how to build a character and how to apply it to musical theater choreography. So this is for anyone who is either a musical theater practitioner, professional performer, or anyone who is interested in learning how to apply more character and more storytelling inside of dance and movement. So please jump on up and move your body with me today. I'm going to teach you just a little snippet of choreography, and then we're going to add characterization to it, and we're going to learn 3 different characters. So we're going to look at how each character does the same choreography in a totally different way, because their identity and their personality affects and changes how the steps are done. I'd also like to say I hope that everyone is doing well and staying safe, and I'm so honored to be a part of this Theater Horizon community where we can all make and create together even through this very strange time right now. So thanks so much for being here and for joining me, and let's get going. The thing we're going to do is we're going to jump up into a warm-up just to get our bodies and our voices and our imaginations all warmed up and ready to step out of our bodies and voices and to take on the body and voice of other people, other characters. So I'm going to put some music on. And you can get up and do this with me. So we're going to just start to walk out our feet and come into space. We're really looking for freedom and getting rid of that little voice and part of our brain that likes to judge what we're doing. And we're just going to start to fall and feel that freedom. So just stepping one forward at a time. 1 foot forward at a time. And falling over, dropping your head. Starting to warm up your spine. You're coming into a lunge position. But it's not super formal. The form of it isn't very strict. You can let it be loose and fun. And then to the side. And the other side. Woo! And you can make this as small or as big as you want to. You can work up to it a little bit, going back and forth, really letting that head go. Good. And just swing the spine back and forth, and forward and back. Good. Now we're going to do some jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to shake out our body. And you can make some sound here. We're going to start to vocally warm up. I dare you to be sillier and more ridiculous than I am. Great. And then we're just going to roll our head in a big circle on a hum. So like this. And then open the hum up when you get back to the center. And the other way. Great, awesome. Okay, to start to warm up vocally, we're going to go through our resonators in our body. So we're going to go through 4 of them. There's more than that, but we're just going to stick to 4. We're going to start with our belly resonator, move to our chest resonator, go up to our nasal cavities, and then out through the top of our head. So in our belly, we're going to find that deep, low, resonating sound. And you can place a hand there just to feel the vibrations coming from there. We're going to inhale, let the breath fly in. And then exhale down there. Just a low ah sound. your breath moving through your ribs. So this is actually not just the chest, but the whole upper part of the torso. Really starting to expand those intercostal muscles, which is a fancy word for those little tiny muscles in between the ribs, in between your ribs. So inhaling, expanding through those muscles, and then on another letting out through your chest and your ribs. And then maybe dropping back down into your belly at the end of the exhale. Great, and then we're going to move it to the nasal cavity. Same sound on an ah right now. So these are really going to place up in our nose and through our cheekbones. So we sound really whiny. Now we're going to inhale, that breath fly into our body and say, ah! And let that flow all the way through our nasal cavities. And then our last one is the top of our heads. So we are going to let that air just fly out of our head space. For guys, our falsetto. For ladies, our head voice, right? So we place a hand up there. Inhale, let breath fly in. And let it fly out, and then it can travel all the way back down the resonators, the four that we did today. So let's try that, starting with the head. Breath flies in. Great, and then we're going to do another one of those, just going all the way through that scale. Belly, chest, nasal, top of the head. But now this time on an E, ready? So place those hands right here, let the breath fly in. Great, okay, so you can probably already start to tell that the way that we move through that sound in the body starts to elicit or bring about different characters, right? So if I'm low down here, then maybe that starts to affect my body in certain ways, and that changes the kind of character that I am, maybe how I stand, how I use my body posture, maybe even the tempo in which I'm talking starts to change just based on my voice and my body physicality. Yeah. So then if you moved it to your chest, that would be a totally different character that would start to come about, right? My vocal range tends to live in my chest, so that tends to feel most like me, right? But then if I move it to my nasal cavities, that brings about a totally different character. Maybe my body starts to change in ways that aren't very much like me, but bring about maybe my facial expression changes, what I do with my head changes, right? I find a totally different posture and way of moving and speaking just based on what I'm doing with my voice, right? And then if we bring it up into the head voice, that's a totally different voice. And maybe we start to feel something totally different than what we feel in other places of our body. And maybe our body starts to move in a different way. Right, so those are all the options. And then you can start to combine them, like use a combination of chest and belly and low voice, right, to get a brand new, like, fifth genre of character. There's so many options. They're limitless, actually. So now, just to warm us up to the limitless possibilities for character, we're going to go through some character traits. So we talked about body, we talked about voice, and how those two elements affect and change and dictate character. And now we're going to talk about imagination and getting into our emotions and our mindset and how personality and identity obviously inform character too, right? Okay, so the first character trait is confident. So if I said portray a confident character, right, what's the first thing that your body wants to do, or your voice wants to do, to represent confidence? How can you portray and illuminate our tempo of our voice changes, all these little details start to take form. So confidence, great. Then the next one is shy. So as soon as I say shy, right, what does the body start to do? This is what my body starts to do. Versus confident, I'm really open, I'm really here, I'm actually pushing my body, my torso forward. But shy, the opposite starts to happen, right? I'm more here. And how does the voice change? What resonator does the voice start to go to? Hi. Good to see you. And volume too maybe starts to be affected. That's another element of voice that can dictate character. Okay, shake that out. Great. And maybe your version of these things is going to look totally different than mine, right? This is just how my body, voice, and imagination respond to these character traits. So the last one we're going to try is excitable! And that is excitable! If you're portraying a character that's excitable, for me I immediately go to my head voice, and it's all up here, and all of my weight is forward on the tips of my toes, and I'm so excited, and I can't wait to begin what we're going to do today! Shake that out. Shake that out. Awesome. There's just a little bit of some of the tips and tools we can use, the formula or score that we start to create to generate different kinds of character. So now we're going to move into learning that snippet of choreography I referenced at the beginning of the video, and then try on 3 different characters, 3 different places in our body and our voice and our imagination who are going to do that choreography, and we're going to see how the choreography drastically changes even though it's the same steps from one character to the next. This choreography is from the musical Hadestown, and it is not the choreography that was done in the original Broadway production. It's choreography I created to it, and it's just a small little snippet, just a container, a score like I referenced before, something we can use to then place character inside of that container. So we're going to start here. Our right arm is above our head, and our palm is facing the ceiling, and our left hand is flipped on the front of our hand, and our wrist is on our hip. And then we're going to sink into our right hip, and our left foot is going to be just resting on the ball of the foot right next to, so all my weight is on my right foot, and I don't have any weight on my left foot, and I'm just going to place my left foot right next to my right foot. And then there's a little break in the music right before we start. So when it comes in, it goes bum, bum, bum. So we're going to just bounce our hip with it. And then we're going to turn. So these are just little step ball changes. But that's something where you could totally change that step, that method of getting from facing the audience to having your back to the audience, based on your character, right? Like you could be playing a character who pivots around or who shuffles around, right? Or so many other different options. That's an area where you can color in based on the character. So, but for now, just learning the basics before we get to characterization, we're just going to step ball change our way around. And the hand, and again, this could be left to character interpretation, but the hand just flips here, right? So even if that flip stays the same, how could we, with character, add something else to it that's just slight and specific? We're going to talk about how specificity is the most important ingredient in creating a character recipe. Okay, so we're sinking into our right hip. We're here. The music comes, bounce, 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 and then step ball change our way, so our backs are facing the audience. And then we are going to do this step where we're going to jump onto our right foot, just a little hop, not a full jump. And our left foot comes into, not passe, it's very stylized, it's a flexed foot. The knee is bent as high as you can get it up there, but this is fine, just as where is comfortable for you. The right arm is out straight to the right side of your body, and that hand is flexed. Yeah? So the palm is out. And this hand is the same, but this elbow is bent in towards the torso. So we just did bounce, bounce, bounce. 1, 2, 3. Sweep up. Good. Could you see me in the frame? Sweep up. Awesome. Yeah? And then we do that 3 times, but it rotates. So it goes like this. We're here. Bounce, bounce, bounce. 1, 2, 3. 1. Rotate 2. Rotate 3. Okay, so putting that all together, do it with me. Here we go. Bounce, bounce, bounce. 1, 2, 3. Sweep 1. Sweep 2. Sweep 3. And then our hands come out to either side. Big T across our body, but our backs are to the audience. Now we're going to swing the head to the right, and our whole body weight goes to the right, and swing the head to the left, and our whole body weight goes to the left. I'm sinking into the left side of my body. And then I'm going to sweep both arms around, and they're going to come up. And I'm in a little hop with my left leg out. I can be as low or high as is comfortable for you, and that foot is flexed. So we go. Let's take it from this first hop, second hop, third hop, 1, 2, little hop, and then we're going to shuffle our way back, and our hands just ease their way down with our palms open. Shuffle back to over here. So you're moving from stage left to stage right. And then the last little bit, we come 1, 2, 3. So the third one, our hands frame our face. The hands come up. We step our left foot over our right foot. We pivot, turn around. Our fingers point down and we look at the ground. So that last section all together looks like this. So we go 1, 2, 3, little hop, shuffle back. And we go 1, 2, 3, around. Putting the whole thing together, and then we'll do it with music, and then we'll dive into character. Here we go. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Go 1, 2, 3. Go 1, 2, 3. Go 1, 2, 3. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. 1, 2, 3. Up and around and down. Yeah? Sweet. Let's do it with the music. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. Up, shuffle, up and around. Okay, so now we're going to move into characterization, and this is the really fun part. We're going to we're going to build together 3 different characters, and I have a little bit of an idea what characters I'm going to build, but I want you to be really open to discovering your character in real time using these ingredients we talked about. So we're going to focus on just 3 ingredients today, and there's a whole lot more that you can add to this recipe to make your character really specific and make your character unlike any other character, right? Because every individual character is just like an individual human, and they're unique and different in their own individual ways. So the 3 ingredients that we're going to focus on today are our body and our voice, and what part of the body we're leading from, which is all a part of the body, the physicality, right? If we're leaning forward, if we're leaning back, if our head is what's leading us through space, or it's our chest that's leading us through space, right? So, and then the third one is character trait. So we have voice. We're going to pick one resonator to build our first character. We have body. We're going to start with the voice and then see how the body responds to that vocal choice, and then figure out what part of the body is leading. So that's all body. It's a little bit layered. And then the last one is character trait. So we're going to see what dominant character trait comes out of those first two ingredients. So we're going to slowly build this recipe to then reveal what it is we're baking, if you will. Yeah? Okay, so if we start with voice, I'm going to choose my nasal cavity. So I'm going to start to talk here. So whatever resonator you chose, you just start to talk. You can talk about anything. You can respond back to me. How's your day today? Are you having a good day? Are you having a good day? And you can start to play around with it, right? Move it up and down in pitch. You can go higher, or you can go a little lower, right? And still be from the same resonator. And then just start to see what starts to happen with your body. What starts to feel right. And you can also play with tempo. So I can start to talk really fast, and that's going to absolutely change what part of my body I'm going to lead from, right? And where the weight of my body is going to go, right? So I can go really fast, or I can still be in my nasal cavity, but start to go really slowly. And then how does that change what my body is doing if I talk really slowly, and maybe my posture starts to change, and I'm figuring out that this character maybe leads from their hips, or you can talk at a normal speed and see what that delivers, what that brings about. And then, start to discover which version you like the best, and what dominant character trait is coming about from the various things that you play around with your voice. Tempo, pitch, quality, resonator, right? So I think that I kind of like this slower tempo of the nasal cavity and kind of a middle pitch of the nasal cavity. So I'm going to keep that there. And I'm discovering that the character trait that seems to be dominant in this character is maybe confusion. Maybe my pitch goes up at the end of my sentences because I'm just trying to figure it out. Or maybe I get really distracted. Okay, great. So once you've played around with your character and you can really let it kind of evolve and take its time, you can pause this video and play around with that first character as many times as you want to. Then we're going to go through the choreography as this first character, okay? So we're going to get back into that body, back into start with the voice. That's always what helps me. And then the body starts to come with the voice. So I'm learning that she really leads from her hips and that her hands tend to be in front of her body. And she's very expressive with her hands. They tend to live a little bit by her sides. So then we're going to go through the music and just let that character do that dance the way they would do it. Okay. Here we go. So we're going to start in just a moment. I will count you in. And you can just take this time to really get into that character. I didn't count you in. I'm so sorry. We're here, and then we're here, and then we're here. And then So because we're just playing around with this right now, and this is the first time we're trying out different characters, you totally don't have to be in sync or in time with the music. You don't have to hit the steps. When you're supposed to hit the steps, you don't even have to get them right? Like, I messed up a few times, and I just use that as part of my character. Like, one of the leading character traits of my character was that she sometimes gets confused or spacey, so that I just leaned into that and just skipped a whole section of the dance and then came back for the end, right? And it's okay if you feel like, oh, well, I feel like there's a few different character traits coming out in this character. That's great, because we as humans are layered people, right? Maybe there's a dominant character trait, but maybe there's a few dominant character traits that are kind of shining through, and then you can just let that be and play around with those. All right, great. So we're going to move on to trying a second one and a third one. So this you can just do with me. I'm not going to do a whole lot of explaining through it. I'm just going to try out 2 other resonators, 2 other body positions, and 2 other dominant character traits. And you can do that. We can do that together. Character number 2 uses their belly resonator and speaks at a bit of a slower tempo and has the descriptor of being maybe slightly depressed or grumpy or just not invested. And character number 2 probably leads from their belly or maybe their chest. Character number 3 speaks from her head resonator and probably leads from her head as well. And her weight is a little bit forward on the tips of her toes, and her arms are nice and straight by her side, and she's always ready for the next big project. And she speaks at probably a bit of a faster tempo. Awesome! That's all 3 characters. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that you could see how characterization changes movement in such a drastic way and therefore informs storytelling in such a big way. Please continue to follow along with Theater Horizon. We will keep making video content to do with you while we're all stuck at home. We can still enjoy making and creating and being expressive in the arts together. So please continue to stay safe and be surrounded by people you love, at least virtually, and I'll see you next time.